You know, life's a funny thing. One day, they laugh at you, mock you, step on you like you're nothing. They whisper behind your back, doubt your dreams, act like you'll never be more than a shadow beneath their feet. But oh, how the tables turn. Pause, smirking, letting the silence linger. See, the world has this way of balancing the scales. The ones who betrayed you, the ones who thought you were weak, one day, they'll watch you rise. And when they do, oh, they won't just regret it. They'll beg for a second chance, beg for forgiveness, beg to stand in the light you now own. Leans in, voice dropping to a whisper. And the best part, you won't even have to lift a finger. Success will be your revenge. They laughed at you, mocked your dreams, and dismissed your ambitions as foolish fantasies. They saw your struggles and smirked, convinced that you would never rise above the place they assigned you. Every mistake you made was entertainment for them, every failure a punchline in their cruel joke. They whispered behind your back, doubted your potential, and relished in the thought that you would always remain beneath them. But life has a twisted sense of humor. The same people who once ridiculed you will one day be forced to watch as you rise beyond their expectations, beyond their reach. Life has a way of humbling the arrogant, of turning the tables when no one expects it. The ones who found joy in your struggles will one day be the ones struggling to keep up with you. The ones who overlooked you will be forced to acknowledge what they never saw coming. When you were at your lowest, they laughed, thinking your pain was permanent. But what they didn't realize was that every insult, every rejection, every moment of doubt was only pushing you to become stronger. You took every sneer, every act of betrayal, and turned it into fuel. You didn't break, you built. You didn't quit, you adapted. You didn't stay down, you rose. There's something almost poetic about the way life works. The laughter that once echoed around you will fade into silence. The faces that once looked down on you will have to look up. And the same people who underestimated you will find themselves wishing they had treated you differently. Life may have let them think they had won for a while, but in the grand scheme of things, it was only setting the stage for your rise. Every setback felt like a punch to the gut, a moment where the world seemed to confirm their doubts about you. The failures, the betrayals, the losses, they all stacked up, making it seem as though life was determined to break you. Every door that was slammed in your face, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers, every person who walked away thinking you wouldn't make it, all of it could have crushed you. But instead, it did something else. It became fuel. Each rejection forced you to dig deeper, to sharpen your skills, to refine your mindset. Every failure became a lesson, teaching you resilience, patience, and the art of perseverance. The pain that should have left you broken only made you hungrier. The more they doubted you, the more determined you became. While they thought they were watching you fall apart, you were quietly rebuilding, piece by piece, stronger than before. You learned to embrace the struggle, to see setbacks not as roadblocks, but as redirections. When they thought they had buried you, they didn't realize you were a seed, taking root in the darkness, preparing to break through the surface. Every disappointment lit a fire within you, pushing you to prove to yourself, not them, that you were meant for something greater. They assumed you would give up, that you would accept defeat and fade into the background. But what they failed to understand was that setbacks don't destroy those who are truly committed, they refine them. Every hardship became another reason to keep pushing, to keep grinding, to keep proving, until eventually, the very things that once held you back became the foundation of your unstoppable rise. They expected you to lash out, to seek revenge in ways that would only drain your energy and prove them right. They thought they had won, that their words and actions had broken you beyond repair. But what they didn't realize was that you were never interested in petty battles. You had something far greater in mind. You chose silence over confrontation, discipline over distraction, and growth over grudges. While they wasted time gossiping and celebrating your failures, you were working. You were studying, improving, evolving. You turned their doubts into drive, their mockery into motivation. Every insult became a stepping stone, every rejection a lesson, every betrayal a push forward. You refused to let their negativity consume you because you understood something they never did. True revenge isn't spoken. It's shown. There's no need to argue with those who doubted you. No need to defend yourself to people who never believed in you. No need to explain your journey to those who laughed at your struggles. The moment you succeed, all the noise fades. Your results will speak in a language they can't ignore. The same people who dismissed you will be forced to acknowledge your greatness. The ones who mocked your dreams will see them come to life. The ones who counted you out will realize they miscalculated. And the most beautiful part, you won't have to say a single word. Your success will echo louder than any insult they ever threw your way. It will remind them every single day that while they were busy tearing you down, you were busy building yourself up. There is no revenge sweeter than becoming everything they said you couldn't be, standing in a place they never imagined you would reach. They used to laugh when you spoke about your dreams, rolling their eyes at your ambitions, as if they were nothing more than childish fantasies. They doubted your abilities, criticized your efforts, and dismissed you as just another person who would never make it. They found amusement in your struggles, whispering among themselves that you were wasting your time, that you were chasing something far beyond your reach. But time has a way of shifting the narrative. The same voices that once spread doubt will one day be forced to acknowledge the truth. The same people who once mocked you will speak of you with admiration, not because they suddenly believe in you, but because your results leave them no choice. They will go from laughing at you to speaking about you with wonder, questioning how the person they once underestimated became someone they now look up to. Your success will rewrite their words, replacing mockery with respect. They will remember the days when they thought you would never rise, only to see you stand taller than they ever imagined. The whispers that once carried doubt will carry your name with a different tone. One of amazement, of disbelief, of reluctant admiration. Some will pretend they always supported you, while others will struggle to accept the reality of your transformation. And in that moment, you won't need to remind them of what they once said. You won't need to bring up the past or seek their validation. Your journey, your growth, and your accomplishments will speak for themselves. The voices that once tore you down will now be the ones spreading your story, not as a joke, but as proof that they never truly understood who you were destined to become. When you're struggling, the world doesn't need to know. People love to watch others in pain, to dissect their failures, to feed off their struggles like entertainment. Some will pretend to care, but deep down, they're waiting to see if you'll break. They want a front row seat to your downfall, not your comeback. That's why silence is your greatest weapon. Work in the dark. Move quietly, let them think you've given up, let them assume you've accepted defeat. While they waste time talking, you spend time building. While they gossip about your struggles, you sharpen your skills, strengthen your mindset, and prepare for the moment when the world has no choice but to take notice. Your struggle is not for public consumption. It's not a show for them to watch. It's your private battlefield where every wound turns into wisdom and every setback fuels your rise. But when the victory comes, that's when you let the world hear you. That's when the silence breaks, not with words, not with explanations, but with undeniable results. The same people who once looked past you will be forced to turn their heads. The ones who ignored you will suddenly want to listen. The same ones who laughed will find themselves in awe. You don't need to prove anything to anyone while you're struggling. You don't need to justify your pain or seek validation from those who never believed in you. Let them wonder, let them doubt, let them assume you failed. Then, when the time is right, when the work is done and the victory is undeniable, let your success be so loud that it drowns out every word they ever spoke against you. Pride has a way of making people blind to reality. When they were on top, they looked down on you as if you were insignificant. They dismissed your efforts, belittled your struggles, and acted as if they were untouchable. They spoke with arrogance, carried themselves as if they would always be ahead, and treated you like you were beneath them. But time has a way of humbling even the most prideful. The same ones who once saw you as nothing will be forced to face the truth. Nothing stays the same forever. Power shifts, positions change, and tables turn when least expected. The ones who walked away thinking they would never need you will find themselves in need of what you have built. The ones who mocked your journey will realize they should have paid attention. The same people who shut doors in your face will come knocking, hoping for a second chance. Life is unpredictable, and no one remains untouchable forever. When you were struggling, they thought they had won. They assumed your hardships were permanent, while their success would last forever. But time has a way of revealing who was truly strong. It's not the ones who had an easy path, but the ones who endured, who kept going despite the odds, who refused to let failure define them. And when you finally rise, they will remember every word they spoke against you. They will recall the moments they dismissed you, the times they left you behind, and the way they once carried themselves with false superiority. But by then, they won't be standing above you. They'll be looking up, humbled by the very person they once underestimated. Revenge is a distraction, a trap that keeps you focused on the past instead of building your future. When people betray you, doubt you, or try to tear you down, the natural instinct is to strike back, to prove a point, to make them feel what they made you feel. But that only keeps you at their level. It ties you to their negativity, their bitterness, their small-minded ways of thinking. True power comes from walking away, from refusing to engage in battles that don't serve your purpose. The best response to betrayal isn't anger, it's success. While they waste energy plotting against you, you use that same energy to grow. While they obsess over your downfall, you rise so high that they become irrelevant. They expected you to crumble, to let their words and actions break you. Instead, you took every setback and used it as fuel. You transformed their doubt into motivation, their betrayal into wisdom, and their hate into an unstoppable drive. Nothing haunts those who wronged you more than seeing you thrive. They wanted to see you stuck, struggling, bitter like them, but when they look up and see you soaring, when they realize they no longer have access to you, that is the real punishment. They will watch from a distance, knowing they played themselves, knowing they lost the chance to stand beside you. The sweetest revenge isn't getting even. It's making them realize they never had the power to stop you in the first place. Their actions, their words, their betrayals, none of it mattered. Because while they were focused on destroying you, you were focused on building something they could never touch. There was a time when you were at your lowest, when their betrayal cut deep, leaving wounds that took time to heal. You remember the nights spent questioning why they did what they did, the moments when their words echoed in your mind, making you wonder if they were right about you. They walked away, laughed at your pain, and never looked back. To them, you were nothing more than an afterthought, someone they could discard without a second thought. Someone they could discard without a second thought. But time has a way of revealing the truth. The same people who turn their backs on you will come back when they see what you have become. When they see the strength you've built, the success you've earned, and the doors that once seemed closed now wide open for you, their tune will change. The same mouths that doubted you will now speak your name with admiration. The same people who left you behind will now ask for a seat at your table. But when they come, begging for forgiveness, asking for another chance, remember who you were when they betrayed you. Remember how they treated you when you had nothing. Remember the pain, the loneliness, the way they made you feel invisible. They didn't believe in you then, they didn't support you when you needed them most. And now, they only return because they see your worth. Growth gives you choices. You can choose to forgive, but that doesn't mean you have to forget. You can be kind, but that doesn't mean you have to let them back in. When they beg, don't let nostalgia cloud your vision. See them for who they were, and see yourself for who you have become. Forgiveness is a powerful act, one that allows you to release the weight of anger and resentment that can otherwise consume you. It's not about excusing what was done or forgetting the hurt. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of negativity that tie you to the past. When you forgive, you take back your power, choosing peace over pain, growth over bitterness. You decide that the past no longer has the authority to control your future. However, forgiveness doesn't mean that everyone who wronged you deserves access to your life again. Just because you choose to forgive someone doesn't mean they automatically earn the right to walk back into your world, to take up space in your heart, or to disrupt the peace you fought so hard to find. Forgiveness is an internal decision, but access to your life, your trust, your time, your energy, that's a privilege, not a given. Not everyone who wronged you deserves the chance to do so again. The act of forgiving doesn't erase the lessons learned from betrayal or hurt. In fact, it often teaches you the importance of boundaries, of understanding where to draw the line between offering grace and protecting your peace. You can forgive someone for their actions without giving them permission to re-enter your life and repeat the same mistakes. Access to your life is earned, not automatically granted. Trust is built, not freely given. Respect must be proven, and consistency is the foundation of any real relationship. Forgiveness clears the path for healing, but access is a door that remains closed until someone shows they deserve to walk through it again. The past is just a chapter in your story, not the entire book. It doesn't hold the power to determine your future unless you allow it. Every mistake, every failure, every setback, it's all part of your journey, but it doesn't have to be the defining moment. What defines you is how you rise from those moments, how you choose to grow, and how you refuse to stay stuck in what was. Your rise is where your power lies. It's in the way you overcome, the way you learn, and the way you push forward when others expect you to fall. Your past might have shaped you, but it doesn't dictate your potential. The person you are today and the person you are becoming is the true reflection of your strength, your perseverance, and your refusal to let anything from your past hold you back. Your rise is your legacy. In the end, the journey you've walked, the pain you've endured, and the setbacks you've faced are not what will define you. What will define you is how you rise, how you refuse to stay down when the world expects you to. Your elevation will be the loudest response to those who doubted you, and your success will speak volumes when words fail. The mouths that mocked you will whisper your name in awe, and those who wronged you will whisper your name in awe, humbled by the person you've become. Remember, forgiveness is your choice, but access to your life is earned. You owe it to yourself to rise above the past, to make your future a testament to your strength and resilience. So when the world tries to break you, when they doubt your potential and question your dreams, remember that it's not their approval you need. It's your own belief in yourself that will take you to the top, where your victory will be the sweetest revenge.